Super creative.
You've banked a ton of shots with your drone, and now it's time to edit. What's that? You don't even have a drone? That doesn't matter, because we're going to get super creative. I'm Rob Lyons, this is Super Creative, and today we're going to edit some drone footage like a boss. Now, the first tip is that even if you don't own a drone, you can still add drone footage to your edits, to your projects. You just have to use a stock website or a subscription service. I have several, and the one that I've been using the most lately is called Envato Elements. Now, I don't have any affiliation with this website, I just use it for my projects, and I download drone footage all the time, especially when I'm doing a project out of town and I don't want to hire someone to fly their drone. You can go on there, find the city you're in, get some drone shots. I have unlimited downloads on this website, so I can download as much or as little as I need and not have to worry about it, or pay for it, so it's great. Now, a couple other websites where you can find some really good drone shots are Storyblocks and artgrid.io. They're both subscription services, but they offer you unlimited downloading so that you can keep putting drone shots in your edits or download a whole bunch and make an entire drone video. Now, when it comes to cost, you can get drone shots anywhere from $5 to $8 all the way up to several hundred. And some of these subscription services that I mentioned range in price as well, from $200 to about $600. And they offer you different levels of footage. So something at the high end is going to give you raw or log footage in 4K. Something at the lower end is going to be more 1080p compressed H.264 footage. So pick the subscription that makes the most sense for you and what you do. All right, tip number 2, shoot at a higher frame rate than you edit at. I shoot 30 frames per second and I can form it down to 24. So when I import it into Adobe Premiere, I right click my clips, I interpret footage, and I change it from 30 to 24 frames per second. Now, this is just a subtle slow motion, and I think it makes everything look just a little more cinematic. You could take it even further and shoot up to 60 frames per second to make it even slower and more dramatic. I find with drone footage it's pretty slow anyway, so 30 to 24 is ideal. Now, tip number 3, play with your aspect ratio. A lot of people think a wider frame looks more cinematic, so you can set up your timeline wider than the footage you shot to make it seem a little more film-like. Now, I personally shoot a 2:1. My YouTube videos, everything I put online is a 2:1 aspect ratio. So I just go into my sequence settings and I go 3840 by 1920. So that's a 2:1 aspect ratio. It's a little wider, and for people who view on a phone, it's actually going to fill up their screen just a little bit more and look that much better. It's time to actually edit our footage and put some clips into the timeline, but stop, pump the brakes there, soldier. Before you do that, I want you to choose a great song first, drop that into your timeline, because we're gonna edit to the beat of the music. Every beat, every sound cue in the song is a perfect place to drop an edit, a transition, an effect, a speed change, and we're gonna let that guide our edit. It's a lot better than trying to make an edit and then match music to it later. So find some music, drop it in the timeline, and let's start placing some clips. Okay, this next tip I'm calling screen direction. And basically what it means is if one shot is panning from left to right, or right to left, up to down, the next clip should do the opposite, or at the very least something different than that. It'll keep the viewer's eyes moving across the frame in different directions, and it just keeps the whole edit more interesting. We're gonna keep using this process. You don't want to see a clip pan from left to right and the next clip pan from left to right. If you do the opposite, it just keeps you way more engaged and immersed in the edit that you're watching. So use screen direction to your advantage to make your editing more interesting and to keep the viewer engaged. The next tip follows right in line with that, and it's to use transitions. Not the crappy ones built into your editing system, but something a little more advanced. I choose to buy bundles of these because I use them on a lot of different projects, and the ones that I use for drone footage have the camera moving from left to right or zooming in. It's usually motion oriented and they're quite fast. They help whip. It's like a whip pan or a crash zoom. And I find these are really effective for keeping the camera moving and keeping the drone footage more entertaining. This next one is to either time remap or speed ramp your footage. Now, it might take a minute for a really good drone shot to play out, but really you just want that to be a few seconds in your video. So you can either cut just a little tiny part of that video, or if you want to make more use of it, we can speed ramp it. So what we're going to do is have the clip play at regular speed, we're going to speed up, and then we're going to drop back down to regular speed. This is called speed ramping, and it allows us to show a little more footage in a shorter period of time, and it's a cool effect. This works really well when you do it to the music. And instead of speed ramping, there's another option, which is jump cuts. So what we would do is we would just cut sections of the video out on the beats. So when the beat hits, we jump forward. Beat hits, we jump forward, just like this. You see? Right? Okay, next tip. Use time-lapse. Now, a drone is almost like a tripod. They're so stable in the air that you can shoot time-lapses and they stay rock solid. You can also do hyperlapses, where you move the drone and shoot photos at the same time. Now, a lot of drones have this built in. If yours doesn't, just move it very slowly while either shooting video or taking a series of still photos. There's plenty of tutorials online about shooting time-lapse with your drone, but it makes epic video. So take advantage of it. To complement a time-lapse clip, we can use tilt shift. Tilt shift makes everything look like a miniature or a small world by selectively blurring parts of the image. Some drones have it built in, most do not, so we'll do that in Adobe After Effects by using a mask and a blur in order to achieve this effect. This is a lot of fun and it works really well because drone shots are taken from the air. The tilt shift effect works best from shooting at a high angle, so either from a bridge, a tall building, or a drone. Combining that tilt shift effect with time-lapse makes for a really incredible video, but it doesn't mix well with regular clips. So if you're gonna do it, make your entire edit a tilt shift edit and keep it uniform throughout. Okay, the next and almost final tip is sound design. Now, I have a Mavic Mini. It does not have a microphone. It does not record any audio whatsoever. So it's really important that I add sound effects into the edit to make it come alive. Sound is half of your video presentation. It's audio-visual presentation. So you need to add all these sound effects in, and you can have fun with it. This is a shot I took, and you can see some geese fly through the image. So I've added the sound of the bird, panned it from left to right so that as the bird flies through the frame, the sound travels with it and it makes it seem a lot more natural and realistic like it would in real life. There are a ton of tutorials online around sound design. It's super fun, it's addictive. Go down that rabbit hole, it will pay off. Every little piece of sound design you add to a video makes it that much more engaging, and it's 100% worth your time. So have fun with it, do some sound design. Okay, the last tip is to color grade your footage. It's going to make it more cinematic. Now, a lot of drones have small cameras and they look pretty video-y. We want them to look a little more cinematic. So you could use a LUT. I use LUTs. I also sometimes don't use LUTs. So however you choose to color grade and whatever software you use, just have fun with it. You can experiment. I recently did Josh Yo's tutorial, Make Art Now, great YouTube channel, follow his, on doing light beams in DaVinci Resolve. And it turned out like this. So spend the time, have fun with it, color grade your footage, put that finishing touch on it that makes it look that much more professional and makes your whole piece come together. So that's going to do it for our tips. I hope you found them useful. Hope you can implement them into your workflow. Have fun with it, and remember, these are just kind of guidelines to inspire you to go out and try your own things when you're editing your drone footage. Now, I'm going to show you a montage where I used a lot of these techniques, but before that, I just want to remind you that we can be reactive or we can be creative. It all depends on how we choose to see.
Super creative.
I'm a high flyer, got the right stuff. I'm the king of hall, I've got the good stuff. I'm a high flyer, I got the right stuff. the king of heart. I've got the good stuff. I'm a high flyer. I got the right stuff. I'm the king of heart. Got the good stuff. Got the right stuff. I got the good stuff.